It has at once baffled and enraged countless in this country. In this New York jail, the suicide of Jeffrey Epstein, said the U.S. Attorney General today. It's appalling.
We are now learning of serious irregularities at this facility that are deeply concerning and demand a thorough investigation.
Epstein, as most by now know, was an enormously wealthy money manager and convicted sex offender with a high-powered social circle, including, in years past, Donald Trump. As Epstein's life ended early Saturday, he stood accused of fresh sex crimes involving underage girls and faced potentially decades in prison. And so the big question, how on earth was the apparent suicide even possible in such a high-security place? Days after an earlier apparent suicide attempt, a fellow inmate removed from the cell. Somehow, Friday night, guards here failed to look in on him. Conspiracy theories abound, fueled in part by that social circle, friendly not just with Trump, these images are from '92, but also Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew. On Britain's front pages today, himself now accused of assault by one of the women also accusing Epstein, denied by Buckingham Palace. Meanwhile, Epstein's death brings renewed focus on this woman, his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, accused recruiter of girls to be assaulted, whereabouts for the moment unknown. At the wedding of Bill Clinton's daughter, Chelsea, in 2010, that's her off to the side among the invited guests. As for what she did with Epstein,
and there are allegations that Miss Maxwell was an active participant in the sexual abuse.
Indeed, even though authorities note the criminal case against Epstein died with Epstein.
Any co-conspirators should not rest easy. The victims deserve justice, and they will get it.
Today, in France, where Epstein owned this property, fresh calls to open an investigation there. Questions, now worldwide, mount. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
As you heard Paul say, Jeffrey Epstein was staggeringly wealthy. So what happens to his assets now? Court filings said Epstein was worth at least $500 million U.S., with more than $10 million in annual income. He also owns some incredible real estate, including a $77 million mansion in Manhattan's Upper East Side, a 27,000 square foot ranch house in New Mexico, a home in Palm Beach, just down the road from Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, 2 private islands in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and that apartment in Paris's Tony 16th arrondissement. With no known will, no wife, no kids, his brother Mark could inherit it all. But today, Epstein's accusers called for a freeze of his assets ahead of civil suits against the estate. The feds could also seize his assets to provide restitution to his victims if they can prove all those assets are connected to criminal activity.